Do you regard Frank as a really dangerous opponent?
Well, if I had a dollar for everybody, for every upset that there had been, I would never have to fight again. Well, height doesn't bother me at all. You know what I mean? Sometimes they say the disadvantage, but I use my height as my advantage as far as making the guy draw his punches.
Mike Tyson dedicated these words to one of the most frightening and enormous opponents throughout his entire career, and then he destroyed him in the ring. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Friends, today's video will be dedicated to how the Iron Mike destroyed a real giant in the ring. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave comments in 4 words. Well, let's get started. Today, heavyweight boxers have become obscenely large. Take the most famous trio of Joshua, Wilder, and Fury, for example. However, even in the days of Iron Mike, there were plenty of giants. Tyson himself, despite having unremarkable height and reach for a heavyweight, was not bothered by this. With the guidance of Customado, he turned this disadvantage into his strength. The first fights against truly big guys started for Mike long before his championship bouts. Many of you probably remember those fights and how Tyson dominated over towering Sammy Scaff, David Jaco, or the pumped-up Cuban Jose Ribalta, but these mediocre fighters were just warm-ups.
Tyson does not throw wild punches.
Big left hook, and there is Sam down.
He's taken 2 counts. 3. It's all over. He could have stopped that before.
What a shot, and Ribalta, yeah, hell yeah. That's a fighter.
On his path to greatness, Mike defeated several elite giants like Larry Holmes or Tyrell Biggs.
He should be hanging on. Now with the right hand, the left hand. He's got to hang on. I'm going to stop the fight. Down he goes. Oh, he's hurt. It's all over. He is knocked out. He didn't even bother the count. It was a vicious right hand. It came like a bolt. He looked for it, and Larry got hurt. A big right hand.
Oh, that was a tremendous left hand. This is it. He is gone right now. He has no legs at all. And 10 seconds to go in a round. There's a left hand. He's down again. It's over.
However, as usual, the toughest opponent remained for the end.
Good punches left and right. And he's got him again. Scott. And the Makusa supporters have suddenly gone very quiet, and they'll be quiet.
Frank Bruno, the best British heavyweight boxer before Lennox Lewis, a colossal mountain composed of pure muscle, blood, and ultra-violence, heading into a fight against the most intimidating man on the planet with a record of 32-2 and 31 knockouts. Something in the language of Deontay Wilder, isn't it? In numbers, Bruno stood at 6 feet 3 inches, and his reach was even greater, allowing him to easily target and knock out similarly huge guys like himself. Before getting his title shot against Tyson, Frank had already fought for the WBA belt in 1986, but he was beaten and later knocked out by Tim Witherspoon. After that setback, there followed a series of beautiful knockouts leading up to this precious chance. Bruno had already sparred with Tyson, but only in training when a young and inexperienced Mike was not yet known to the world and was training with Cuss. Much has changed since then, and now the guys stood on opposite sides of the barricade. According to the initial plan of the organizers, Mike and Frank were supposed to meet on October 8, 1988, just a few moments after Tyson knocked out Michael Spinks. However, the meeting had to be postponed. At this moment in Tyson's life, problems began, which would later lead to his first career defeat. Firstly, Tyson's wife, the infamous Robin Givens, left him, filing a lawsuit for $125 million. Secondly, in August 1988, the champion got into a brawl with his former opponent Mitch Green and broke his hand in that fight, making him unable to train. As if all this was not enough, a few days later, Mike got into a car accident and lost consciousness, which finally shattered the idea of a fight with Bruno at the end of 1988. Promoters worked quickly and tried to reschedule the fight for January, but then disputes about the financial aspect of the match arose. Until Don King yielded his position, the fight was not approved. Finally, fans got a date and a venue, February 25th, Vegas. For this fight, Tyson prepared without his old coaching staff led by Kevin Rooney, and the legend could allocate only 2 weeks for reasonably decent training. To the place of the fight, Mike came from the courthouse where he was trying to dissolve his marriage with Robin. As you can understand, Tyson's preparation was far from optimal, but even so, he managed to deliver a performance that surpassed the dreams of all the best heavyweights of today. To see it for yourself, I suggest enjoying it together with me. Tyson didn't just walk, he raced straight at Frank and attempted to break him at close range. However, Bruno was no slouch and managed to clip the aggressor with his sledgehammers in gloves. In response to the shots he took, Mike got enraged and unloaded his bomb on Bruno in the form of a super long right punch. Bam! And it's a knockdown in the first seconds of the fight. The punch was monstrous, but the Brit wasn't fazed and immediately sought payback. As soon as Iron Mike closed in, Frank started spamming punches with his right hand like a madman. Uppercuts, short hooks, everything flew at Tyson's head, but the champion stood his ground and, like a rhino, pressured his opponent. It seemed that the punches were not affecting Tyson, but suddenly his legs wobbled. This monster shocked Tyson. Fortunately, the legend managed to recover before the bell rang. The second round was calmer, with fewer dangerous clinches. Initiative shifted back and forth until the last seconds when the champion rocked Frank with a combination of a straight right and a left from the side. Bruno showcased his dancing skills and Tyson desperately tried to finish him off but ran out of time as the bell rang.
Astonishingly effective with it. Right hand by Tyson landed flush on the jaw.
In the third round, something unexpected unfolded. The Island Giant preferred working from the clinch, while the shorter Tyson succeeded from a distance. As the fighters separated, the champion landed mega powerful right punches and dodged the opponent's clumsy jabs with his left crown, while Frank relied on closing the distance. However, Tyson saw through his plan and tightly engaged in every clinch. With each minute of active work, it became evident that the challenger's energy was depleting. Of course, muscular Mike wasn't as fresh either, but he distributed his strength much better than his opponent, accustomed to first-minute knockouts. Frank's punches became scarcer, while Iron Mike pressed harder and more aggressively. Ladies and gentlemen, it smelled like a knockout. The fifth round unfolded rather passively until Mike put all his weight into a left punch. This multi-ton punch hit Frank's head like a truck and the beating began. Tyson chased the giant around the ring and invested in finishing him off until he cornered him against the ropes and unleashed a decisive series of punches. Uppercut, uppercut, hook, stoppage. The referee saves Frank from this killer.
I knew that he was going to be tough because I knew that he read the papers and he was so psyched out. And as he said, this is a peak time to beat Mike Tyson. And I knew he had that in his mind. I knew he was serious to fight. I knew he came to fight. And I knew by him coming to fight, I knew eventually I would catch him. I knew he would run into something.
Just missed with the right. Trying to land the one haymaker.
Oh, it's just a matter of
This is vicious punishment.
That's not shot. That's not that Bolo shot.
And
Beautiful
Richard
shot.
Steele has seen enough.
This fight marked the first in a duology of two of the most dangerous knockout artists of their time. Many years later, in 1996, they shared the ring again, and then Mike needed only 3 rounds to put the aging Frank to sleep again, ultimately leading him to retirement, as revealed later.
He said he's not looking for the Tyson who fought McGillian Mathis. Here's a combination uppercut by Tyson. Tyson laid it on, carrying on, down goes Bruno into the ropes.
After the second defeat to Tyson, Bruno never fought again, and many believed that he was simply afraid of taking more damage. However, in reality, Frank had suffered a serious fracture of the cheekbone and could have lost his eyesight had he continued to fight at that time. However, discussions about fear are not groundless. Several years after the second fight, the renowned commentator Larry Merchant interviewed Bruno, and according to Larry, the former champion told him about nightmares caused by his first defeat to Mike. Just think about these words. Mike Tyson made one of the most terrifying and dangerous knockout artists of his time wake up in cold sweat at night. Yes, only Iron Mike Tyson could accomplish such a feat. And that's it. Like the video? Then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more Tyson stories in the same style, be sure to let me know in the comments.